Hey guys, welcome back to more Reddit stories about entitled people, crazy people, and everything in between. Hope you're all doing wonderful today. Don't forget to subscribe and let's get right into today's Reddit posts. Landlord entered house while we were out of town. US, Tennessee. Let me just give a quick backstory of the situation. My fiance and I have always had a strange dynamic with our landlord. To start, when we were going through the application process, he made us pay twice the amount of a regular deposit because we are in our 20s, and he said that he does not trust young people, as it is a liability for him. Understandable, I guess. We moved past it. On the first week of every month, it is required in our lease that he enter the house to change the air filter, but it is understood that this is his way of making sure that the house is being kept well. A bit annoying and over-involved to us. But it is what it is, and we do not complain about it. We are great tenants, we are very clean, have never paid rent late, do not have any pets or kids, and are quite accommodating and communicative. For example, during the fall, a windstorm knocked some shingles off the roof, and I called him immediately and allowed him to enter the house as he pleased for about 2 weeks as he got it sorted out. Yet he is still quite aggressive in his tone to us. Anyways, because of this uncomfortable power dynamic that my fiance and I experience, I decided to buy a few security cameras to place around the house, as we are out of town for a week during holidays. I let my landlord know we would be going out of town per the term in the lease that requires us to notify him when we were gone for more than 2 days. Sure enough, a day after we left, I get a notification on my phone that motion was detected. He did not let us know that he would be coming to the apartment as he usually does, and as the lease states, he must. On the cameras, I watched him head straight to the kitchen and start to run a cycle cleaning the oven. This was very strange to us because he did not let us know that this would be taking place. I have him on camera in the house for nearly 2 hours. During these 2 hours, he made himself comfortable by sitting in my office chair and wiping his dirty shoes on my office rug. He does not know that we have cameras in the house. I feel very uncomfortable that he entered our house without letting us know, and very uncomfortable that he used my furniture as if it were his own. I am confident that if I let him know it made us uncomfortable, he will react quite combatively. Am I overreacting here? I know that it is his house, but I live in Tennessee, and I'm fairly certain that the landlord must let me know before he enters the house, unless it is an emergency. Old lady tries to make a rude comment about my tattoo. I make her regret it. So this actually happened about 5 years ago. I remember the day because it had been a really bad one. I'd also just gotten a new tattoo and was really happy with it. It's fairly simple in design, but the detail is gorgeous. This tattoo depicts a giraffe and a sunflower. Wrapped around the giraffe's legs is a banner that reads, "I love you, Kenzie." I was a cashier at the time, working at the local Target. I decided to wear a t-shirt so the fabric wouldn't rub the tattoo and anyone could see it. Throughout the day, customers were rude and machines were having problems, and I was just so incredibly over it. I was about to start shutting down so I could go home when a lady came into my lane with a very full cart. I sighed, put on my smile, and got to work. She scowled and said with no prompting, "You really shouldn't get friends' names tattooed on your arm." While this is very sound advice in my opinion, Kenzie was not a friend of mine. So with a very dead stare I replied, "That's my twin sister. She died 2 months ago. But thank you for the advice, I'll keep it in mind." She went white as a sheet and began stammering out an apology. She couldn't change lanes as I had already started checking her groceries, so she was stuck there. And I took my sweet time checking. I think I took a full 10 minutes to get through her cart, and the whole time she couldn't even look at me. It was incredible. Best customer I've ever dealt with. I also love knowing that Kenzie would have loved to see it. Am I the a-hole for calling my girlfriend a bitch for lying about an emergency to test my commitment? My girlfriend, 29, Andrea, and I, 29, have been together for a few months now. Everything had gone smoothly until yesterday when she pulled off a ridiculous stunt. She called me late at night to say that she's seriously injured / having panic attacks, and that no one else is with her as her parents are out, which was true, they were out. She said that she's also got some chest pain and she thinks that she's dying, and that she's in a really bad state and can hardly breathe. She was heaving while she spoke. She begged me to help her, said that she's already called 911, but that she also wanted to let me know, and I was shocked. I took my car and rushed towards her house, as it was only after reaching that I found out she was joking about it. She met me joyfully and said that she only wanted to see how committed I am during an emergency, as that's an essential part of a relationship or something. I lost my temper and asked her what the her problem was. She said that she was just testing me and I got pissed off. I called her a bitch and told her that I did not deserve to be treated like trash and made use of like that. She was crying by saying that she only wanted to check whether I am a good fit and that I overreacted. I left the house immediately and haven't talked to her since. She's been texting me, but I just ignored her. Update. After talking to her about it, I have decided to give her a second chance. She's apologized a lot and promised to never do that again. I'd be more careful, of course, and I won't be trusting her blindly. But I have thought that I'd give her one chance, especially since she's shown herself to be regretful. That is just so manipulative and not cool. Faking this huge emergency just to see how someone would react in a situation? She says that she just wants to see how committed you are and if she can trust you in a bad situation. But all this is really doing is destroying your trust in her. I'm not just gonna flat out say you should break up with her and move on, because that's a classic move that people love to say on Reddit. Anytime anyone comes to Reddit with the slightest problem with the relationship, everyone's response is always, break up with them, move on, you deserve better. When in reality, it's not always that simple. Which is why Reddit is sometimes a terrible place for relationship advice. But I digress. OP, if you want to give her another chance, then that's your decision. But this situation was definitely a big red flag, so definitely proceed with caution. Crazy lady thinks I vandalized and am stealing my own car. Being in the food service industry, I've dealt with my share of Karens during work hours. However, today I finally encountered a crazy Karen in the wild. To set up the story, I worked my way off the floor as a server and I'm now running the kitchen. Today I went to the store to get a few things for the kitchen, such as bread, butter, tomatoes, etc. When I left the store, I walked my cart over to my car and turned it around so I could reach into the cart and unload it. I hate having to lean over the handle of the cart. When I turned it, I accidentally tapped my bumper with the cart, not even scratch. As I was adjusting the cart, I heard a woman gasp, followed by the call of a wild Karen. Excuse me. I turned to see a portly woman with long brown hair giving me a stern look. I'm a shy person who doesn't like confrontation, but I didn't want to be rude and asked if she needed something. She began her tirade on how I smacked someone's car with my cart, and I should leave a note apologizing for damaging my car. I brushed her off by saying, I don't think the owner would care. I then opened my back seat to load the groceries in. The woman gasped again, demanding to know how I opened the car. One thing to note, my car is 10 years old with wear and tear. Nothing fancy about it. This baffled me to the point I froze in confusion with a sack of onions in my hand. She took this as a sign of guilt. In reality, I couldn't wrap my head around the question. She quickly accused me of trying to steal the car and got on her phone. I just rolled my eyes and finished loading my car. When I went to return the cart, she screamed at me that I better run because she's calling the police. I just laughed and returned to my car, getting in the driver's seat. Now the wackadoodle was standing in my path, preventing me from pulling out. I started up the car, thinking that she would get the hint that it was my car. Yet I hear her shout, "Oh my god, he just hotwired the car. Get here quick." I asked the woman politely to move so I could leave, but she refused. I shut off my car and waited. About 20 minutes later, a cop arrives. I let the Karen speak first. She was telling the police how I vandalized the car, then hotwired it. There was some damage on my bumper from some years ago when my roommate got rear-ended while driving it. Nothing serious. I took out my license, registration, and insurance. All I had to do was show the cop that information where he saw everything was legit and let me leave. The Karen was still protesting that I was stealing the car. I drove away and left the cop and that woman behind. I don't know what happened to her, nor do I care. I just hope she learned her lesson on trying to police people and mind her own business. It makes me think of my favorite quote from Alice in Wonderland. If everybody minded their own business, the world would travel around a lot faster. You don't believe that I'm asthmatic? Okay. I attended high school in a very polluted city. The campus had two of the most saturated streets in my city. For PE, there was a mandatory race we had to do every quarter, and it consisted of swimming 40 semi-Olympic pools and then running 5 laps around the school. We were supposed to finish the swimming and then just put shoes on and a shirt and start running. No time to get dry clothes. Also, the city is well above 8.6k feet, or 2,600 meters above sea level, and fairly cold. I explained to the teacher that it would not be a good idea for me to do that, as I have asthma, and between the cold, damp clothes and pollution, it was not a good idea and that I should only do one of the two. She said, "If you don't do this, you'll fail my class, school policy." I said, "Okay." I then did everything as expected, and I lost my breath in the middle of the third lap. Long story short, I was in the hospital for 2 weeks recovering. My family sued the teacher and the school. She then lost her job. Anyway guys, that's all for today. Thank you for watching, I appreciate it. If you enjoyed, be sure to drop a like and also subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. So have an awesome day, take care, and I'll see you next time.